Welcome to Flavors of Africa, Canada's first African cooking show. I'm Kevin Ufwebini as always.
And I'm Doris Ufwebini. Welcome.
Well, today on our show we have a very interesting topic, that's education. And of course, education is important to the lives of many newcomers to Canada. And I would say it's very important to a lot of Nigerians.
Yes, a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Africans, a lot of immigrants.
That's true. You know, we always place an emphasis on education in the morning, in the afternoon, and dinner, midnight when you're sleeping. So we're going to sit down with Jennifer Locke, the Associate Dean of Teaching and Learning at the Faculty of Education at the University of Calgary. So we're looking forward to that. And before we get to our guests and of course our delicious food, we have some viewer mail.
Yes, we do.
So this is from Wendy Mortis. Wendy writes, "Love you guys, and the recipe. Thanks, Wendy."
Wow, that's interesting. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you for watching. And of course, if you have more mail to send us, you know, you've made some of our recipes, you have some ideas maybe, you can even email us at flavorsofafrica@shaw.ca. Make sure that you visit the new website. That's www.flavorsofafrica.ca.
Yeah, .ca. Last time we said the
.com,
wrong thing,
but
so it's .ca.
Exactly. And of course, make sure that you like us on Facebook. We're going to put that new link up there, and as well as our Twitter. We're going to also leave those links up there. Make sure that you follow us and that you like us.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Well, with that being said, we're going to get to our wonderful guests, and we're going to come back with more delicious food. That's all coming up here on Flavors of Africa. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Flavors of Africa. Today we're in class and we're talking with Jennifer Locke, the Associate Dean of Teaching and Learning at the Faculty of Education at the University of Calgary. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thanks for the invitation.
For being here.
Yeah, so just to open things up, can you tell us a bit about yourself and maybe why you got into education?
Sure. Well, I've always had a love for learning. I've always wanted to answer the question why and what and those types of things. And as I grew up, I started thinking about what a great occupation to be a teacher, to be able to foster and nurture that and to develop those strategies and skills that we were taught in teacher ed to help others to learn and to develop that skill to ask the questions and then to explore it. And it's really, for me, I just love teaching. I'm very passionate about it, and it's exciting when people also love the journey of learning. So that's why I'm in teaching.
That's wonderful.
Thanks.
Very interesting. Well, Canada is continuously evolving due to economic, societal, and technological changes. Do you think that this, in some ways, have altered the purpose of education in our society?
Yes, it truly has. I mean, one of the things as we start thinking about the nature of the jobs that we have today, they're very different than the jobs we had yesterday.
That's right.
And there are jobs that we're not even sure what they're going to be for tomorrow. And so that ability to educate children and people of tomorrow to actually live well in a world that we're not sure what it's going to be about is so important, because it's going to open up those opportunities and those doors to new jobs, which will allow for advancement, which will allow, you know, which that cycle, right, with the employment, you get in money, it goes into the economy, there's new things happening. But I think education's that ticket, because it opens up a range of jobs to you that you wouldn't have if you didn't have a degree or certificate in a certain area. And then once you get into your particular field or discipline, the upside to that one is, as you continue to do that lifelong learning and do that professional advancement, as you learn more, it opens up new career opportunities as well.
Exactly
so it
right.
continues to advance sort of the diversity of what's out there for everyone.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's very empowering. And speaking about diversity, we have many newcomers that come to Canada looking for a better life. As we know, Canada's population isn't growing as rapidly on its own. So immigrants sort of come in and they sort of fill that void. So how can we encourage newcomers to utilize their education in a way that benefits their lives as well as the lives of Canadians?
I think one of those opportunities is to look for where do the training that they have, where does it sort of fit into the culture and the context that exists here? And then within that, to work on, look for those openings along the way where they can do some more advanced training. Maybe if they're challenged with language skills, to work on the language skills and the English skills that are needed for these types of positions, but also to look for, are there certificates? Are there other ways to enhance what they have for training to be able to understand and to work well within an Alberta as well as within a Canadian context? And that becomes the key then to help them to continue to move forward in the work that they would like to pursue here in Canada.
Well, that's wonderful that you say that. And, while we're on the subject of immigration and education, a lot of immigrants and newcomers, they're coming from their homelands with education already. They have degrees, certificates, diplomas. In fact, they sometimes tend to be more educated compared to Canadian-born citizens. So, unfortunately, though, we still have unemployment with newcomers,
right.
and they're unemployed more than Canadian-born individuals are. So, maybe if you can elaborate on the reasons why that is and how we can overcome those barriers.
Well, I think one of the things that happens is when you move from one country to another one is, what are the standards for certification? Training in one area may be seen as a standard or certification here versus another one. So being able to come into a country or even within a province to say, what's required to be qualified or certified for this position, and then to be able to say, okay, so here's my training and here's the gap that's missing. And so the piece then to be able to get certified to be able to work in your particular field then may be a situation where you have to take a short course, maybe you need to take a series of courses or some type of qualification training to be able then to write the requirements or to meet those particular requirements within that. So I think that's one of the things to look at is what is the expectation of the requirement so that you can actually work in your chosen field.
One thing that immigrants are not understanding is that some of us are from countries that English is well spoken, but coming to Canada, sometimes our qualifications are not recognized. I was a teacher before coming to Canada, and I was asked to retrain, not even retraining, but now you have the services. When I came here many, many years ago, we didn't have the kind of services that you guys have now. I was asked to take a TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language before I could attend university. And that was one of the barriers that immigrants face, even though that teaching is the same. We were colonized by the British, Nigeria. Nigeria was colonized by the British, and yet we are asked to retrain.
Even though English is the official language
so
of Nigeria.
it's very, very confusing. We don't understand it. I think that's the question that most immigrants are asking. Why is it that we are not allowed to practice as teachers?
Well, I can't answer that question, but I can take up on the question around the language piece. I mean, so there is a TOEFL score that's a standard.
Yes.
So one of the things that we do within our Faculty of Education, we have English for academic purposes, and the purpose of that particular program is to help individuals who are non-English speakers, I'm going to come to your situation in a minute, non-English speakers to prepare for the university context and professional context. So it allows that space to work on the written as well as the spoken English language.
Yes.
In terms of teachers now, for example, teachers who have degrees from outside of the country who come into Alberta, we have at the University of Calgary a program called Bridge to Teaching. And the design for that particular program is for individuals who will take an 8-month program that's really focused on the Alberta curriculum, and it's very Alberta focused for them. And the idea is that it will help for them, because in this situation, you have a degree, but you're not qualified to teach in Alberta. This particular program allows individuals to focus on the curriculum so they can actually then be qualified to teach here in the province. So, that type of program helps to, fill in that gap that I talked about earlier, like what is the piece missing? And so we have those two types of programs to help fill some of the gaps that exist.
Well, that's perfect. More learning and more fun coming up on Flavors of Africa. Stay tuned. And welcome back to Flavors of Africa. We're talking to Jennifer Locke, the Associate Dean of Teaching and Learning at the Faculty of Education at the University of Calgary. Jennifer, maybe if you can elaborate more on the opportunities that you offer to newcomers through your education program.
Sure. As I mentioned before the break, we have the Bridge to Teaching program. So that's individuals who already have a teaching degree who want to get qualified to teach in Alberta. The other program to really consider is the one of a Bachelor of Education program, and we have two streams with that program. So we have the direct entry, so a student who graduates from high school or has high school qualifications can apply to the program, and so they take a course in the Faculty of Education in the first year, as well as take their classes with their other institute they're at. So for example, they could be in arts or science or kinesiology, and then they come back to us after a couple of years to finish off their teaching courses. And within that particular program, they also have a practicum. So the students would not only get education classes, but they have the opportunity to do a piece out in the field working with a partner teacher. The other program that might be of interest for individuals is that of an after-degree program. So people who already have a degree or 2 degrees who are now thinking, you know, it'd be really great to be a teacher, can apply to our after-degree program. And that's a 2-year program. And again, it's a series of classes, but we have throughout that 4 semesters opportunities for the students to go out into the schools. So they're actually placed in schools with a partner teacher. And so they're seeing the classroom experience, they're doing observations, they're getting that practical experience where they actually build up to an 8-week practicum where they're actually doing the teaching and developing that confidence with that. So it's a great opportunity to get a really good sense of, you know, teaching, and then to say, you know, yes, that's for sure. But at the end of 2 years, you'd have your Bachelor of Education degree.
So where can we find out more about these programs? Do you have a website?
We do. We actually have a couple websites to take a look at. So if you're interested in the Bridge to Teaching program, www.educ.ucalgary.ca/GPE, and you'll see a bridge icon. Click on the bridge icon and you'll find out all about the program, a mission, and all those deadlines. If individuals are interested in the Bachelor of Education program, it's www.educ.ucalgary.ca/UPE for the undergraduate program. And then the other one, the EAP program that I mentioned earlier, that English for Academic Proficiency, is then same address as the other ones, www.educ.ucalgary.ca/EAP. And on all the websites, there's great information, as well as there's contact information. So if somebody wants to actually phone in and ask the questions that they may have, there's somebody there that will be able to answer those questions with more detail.
Well, that is perfect, Jennifer. Thank you so much for being on our show and enlightening us about education.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
so much.
Excellent.
I really appreciate
This
it.
is wonderful.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
So, of course, more food and more fun coming up on Flavors of Africa. Stay tuned.
Hello and welcome back to Flavors of Africa. As you can see, we have all our ingredients here for you, our wonderful viewers. We're going to make some sandwiches for those of you that are going to school. You know, we've talked about the importance of education. Now we are saying that, you know, to be able to understand what the teacher is saying, that you need food. So that's why we're going to make sandwiches.
For all you kids out there,
Exactly.
and kids going to university as well.
Fantastic. So we have our fish here, and then we have our chicken. So we're going to make a chicken sandwich. And we have the salmon here, all spiced up for you, trimmed. And you can see the bone here, which you can use for soup, for you mothers out there to make a wonderful soup.
And fathers
And
as well.
also, we're going to make a pasta to go with this. So you go to school in the morning and then take your sandwiches, and then you come back home and you have a pasta to eat. Why pasta? Yes, Africans, we eat pasta too, because if you go to Nigeria, you see that we have different cultures and
East Africans eat a lot of pasta
exactly.
too.
So that's why we are cooking pasta today.
Because of the European influence.
Exactly,
in the East.
for you, our wonderful viewers. And then we've also made some salad to go with our dishes today. And we have plantain, we have so many things. So we're gonna get cooking. So
All right.
to begin with, I'm going to turn on the stove. Okay, and you're gonna start making your sandwiches. So we have some here already going, so you can start with this. All right. and when you need more, just let me know.
Perfect.
So we have already smoked our salmon, so that's what we have here. We do it for you later on, just to let you know how it's done. So for me, I'm going to start making the pasta while you're making the sandwiches. So I'm gonna need some onions here, please.
Perfect. So we're gonna start off with our pita, which we left on the grill for a little bit just to heat it up.
Yes.
And then of course we have our delicious hummus. And hummus is very healthy,
It's
delicious.
made with chickpeas.
Exactly, can't ever go wrong with hummus.
I know.
You can put it on anything, vegetables, toast.
That's right.
So we're just gonna take a bit of it, or a lot, depending on what you prefer.
So-
No wahala.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with my red onions. Why red onions? Because it has some sweetness to it. So that's why I'm using the red onions. And we have chicken. We also have our shrimp. Oh, I think it's in here. So we have shrimp. These tiger shrimp. They are really, really tasty. So that's what we're
And
going
jumbo.
to use for you. You know, big for you, our wonderful viewers. So I'm going to just saute the shrimp for a few minutes. Oops. And then we bring it out and then we put other ingredients. We have our pasta, bow tie pasta cooking up already, so that's what it is.
Perfect. So once you've spread the hummus evenly on the pita, you're gonna start with your meat. So we have a delicious fish that's been grilled,
Yes.
as well as our chicken. It all depends on really what you like. I even think that if you're vegetarian, you can just put some of the veggies in it after having made this hummus and the pita.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm just adding some African spices and a little bit of salt, not too much salt. So we just saute the shrimp, as I already said.
So I think we're gonna add some fish to the pita.
So you make fish separate, and then for you chicken lovers, yeah. So that's basically just to show our viewers how it's done. And then you know what? You can also add some cheese. I love goat cheese.
You can't
and
go wrong with
You can also
cheese.
use brie, whatever you like. And then you know you can have some salad, you know,
Yes.
with it. So
Some
you can borrow
veggies.
some spoon. So once this is cooked, I have a clean plate here, and I'm going to add the shrimp. I'm going to bring it out because we don't want it to be overcooked.
So can you tell us some of the fun memories you had as a child, maybe in the school system in Africa?
Beautiful, recess, playing. What can I tell you? I love playing with my friends apart from running, because education, you know, it helps children to be socialized. That's why I love it, you know. So I just added the chicken. So the chicken is going to cook for a few minutes. And again, I'm going to add some African spices. If you don't have African spices, you can use thyme, no wahala. A little bit of salt we do. How's it going over there?
Pretty good. Can't wait to eat this.
Yeah, you don't need to cut it more. So while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead, add some of the vegetables in there. You know, you don't need to gauge it, just keep on going, no wahala. And then I have some garlic here. Oops. So 2 or 3 garlic we do. So to this, I'm going to add some cream. And then the chicken broth that I have already. Remember in our last episode, we told you guys that the best way to make a chicken broth is after it's made, you put it in the freezer so that so you can remove the fat. So that's what we've done. Okay, so
It smells delicious.
Awesome.
Absolutely delicious.
I can go ahead and add more milk. So you just add more milk as you wish, because it's like cream pasta. Okay, and here I'm going to add some cheese, because that's what is going to give you that kick. Once again, if you don't like cheese, you don't need to add it, no wahala. So you can add any kind of cheese you want in your pasta.
And as far as the sandwich goes, so we have put our hummus, we've added our fish, we've added our cheese.
Yes.
Again, you can go with vegetables. It all depends on really
Oh
what
yeah,
you
on
like.
your preference. So I'm gonna just wash the spoon, and then you
Perfect.
can wait. We can borrow
We
from
should
our
add
salad.
some
That will
salad
give you
from
some
there.
color. So
Even
just
more healthy, even more delicious.
exactly, and a little bit of.
And what I
hummus,
also
no
like about
wahala.
education, when we, the subject, it's a lot of people think that it's more about the school system, but it's also about cultural competency,
Yes,
cultural literacy.
yes.
When you start to learn about other cultures,
That's right.
it opens your mind and it
So I'm
empowers
gonna
you.
add some pasta to our sauce, and again, you don't need to thicken it. You just add it, no wahala.
And for the sandwich, we're just going to put a little bit of hummus on top, just to complement the lettuce and the vegetables.
Exactly. How is it going there?
It's going good.
Awesome.
Going wonderful.
Okay. So I'm gonna bring it to a boil. Then after that, we add our shrimp and mix it up, and then the chicken. So it's like cooking up a storm. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of vegetables to it, just to give it color. So,
And I just put a little bit more cheese
yes,
on this chicken wrap because you can't go wrong with more cheese. And then we're just going to wrap it up.
yes, awesome, fantastic. See, awesome,
There you
no
have it.
wahala. Exactly, so that's what it is. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna assemble our dishes, our wonderful viewers. So stay tuned.
And welcome back to Flavors of Africa. The website is www.flavorsofafrica.ca.
Awesome.
And there you can find out more about the show. And we had a wonderful show today, actually. We had Jennifer Locke from the University of Calgary. And she
was
talked
great.
about, it was wonderful. So she talked about the opportunities that are available to immigrants in the area of education for them to overcome certain barriers that exist in our country.
So most of the things she talked about, I didn't even know. So
Sure.
it's really good to have her on our show. And it was so kind of her to take some time to explain those services that U of C has to
Exactly.
offer. That
And
was
those
fantastic.
services, again, they can be found at the website. We're going to leave that up for a little bit. And of course, as always, we've made some delicious food on our show, starting with the delicious sandwich wraps that you can take going to school, and they're great for kids.
Yes.
Really, really, really great for lunch.
Yeah, and the good thing about it is that we made some wraps with chicken and also with fish. That was salmon. So just to give you a lot of choices. And the pasta is also great because we have some jumbo shrimp in it, for you, our wonderful viewers. So many things. And of course, the salad.
Yes.
I
And
mean,
it's all healthy.
Exactly.
Look at the colors. It's delicious.
It's really, really fantastic. And we hope you will continue to watch us
Yeah.
and that you will continue to write to us because we love hearing from you, our wonderful viewers.
We
Please.
do. And with that being said, you can always email us, flavorsofafrica@shaw.ca. We can continue the conversation on Twitter or on Facebook. And on Facebook, make sure that you like our new Facebook page. We're going to leave that up for you as well. And just stay in touch.
And then continue to empower your children. Continue to teach them the importance of education. Because for immigrants to have a voice in Canada, we need to have education. We need to encourage our children to continue, taking advantage of what this society has to offer. And remember that knowledge, when put into action, becomes powerful. Thank you so much for watching Flavors of Africa. Until next time,
Take care.
take care.